Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob's Rig. Today, I'm going to be installing the air raid cold air intake on the 2025 Jeep Wrangler. And two reasons. One, better performance. Two, better sound. Now, let's go ahead, jump right in. I did the unboxing the last video, by the way, if you want to check that out. But first thing we're going to do is grab a 10mm socket and go ahead and remove the negative battery terminal, which you should do every time you do really anything electrical on any vehicle, Jeep or anything else. So let's go ahead, see if I can't manage to get this off. They've got it on there pretty darn tightly, actually, which I guess is good. It should just pull off. Now make sure you set it somewhere where it's not going to snap back and reconnect with the terminal on the battery, of course. Next up, we're going to go ahead and disconnect this intake hose here. And you should be able to do that by pushing in on the edge here, like you can see, and then pull back. And I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. It's an awkward angle. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do it with my other hand. So let me sit you guys down. And again, you should just be able to push it in and pull it back like that. Really pretty easy when you have two hands. Now, we're going to disconnect the MAF airflow sensor. Should be able to push in on this little nub on the side and just pull the connector off. See if I can do that one-handed. I don't know. Probably not. Let me sit you guys down and we'll do that, the two-handed version. And it might also help just to have something you can kind of push in on that little prong there. A little screwdriver would be better, but pulls off just like so. Make sure you reorient it the same way. Mine happens to be marked with blue on the top, so I'll just put blue to blue and then push it back on. Should be pretty easy. Now, one thing I want to do here is try to pull out the MAF sensor before I remove the intake, because when I did this before, I did it with everything outside and it was very cumbersome to deal with, and I actually broke the sensor, so I had to buy another one. The way this works, you rotate this point here down towards the ground this direction, counterclockwise, 1/4 turn. So let's see if I can manage to do that, hopefully easily. And I am using just a wrench I had. I think you can also use a, let's see, you can use a 12mm to kind of put it around the edge where this thing is strongest. Let's see if I can rotate it this way. Oh, look at that, it's going to rotate. I think I may have it far enough. Let's see. I did. This is what it looks like when it comes out and what it should look like without being damaged. Now, pay attention to the way that it was in. It was in like so that the air flowed across the longest edge of it, if you will, because you'll want this to go back in the other tube the same way. We do this so that we don't have any check engine lights. Now, set that aside. Next up, the wiring for the MAF sensor is connected to the intake via these little prong things. So you kind of want to pry these off. You could just cut them, not the wires, but the holders. I'm going to try to salvage them. You can't really reuse them, so it's not like I have to. Okay, I did end up just cutting these off the bottom. Again, you're not going to reuse them. Way too much of a pain in the arse to get them out for something you're not going to reuse. Next up, you've got some fasteners. This takes an 8mm socket, and then you have one here, and one here that you're going to remove and then the bottom of the intake is probably held on with some rubber little prongs down below. So I'm going to go ahead, take all of these out. Okay, I've got all the screws off. Now we just need to disconnect the tube from the throttle body here. And that's pretty simple. It just pulls off like so. There is another fastener here. I forgot about this. You do need to disengage this. There is a harness connected to it. So let me disconnect this, and then we'll be able to pull the whole OEM intake out. All right, this just pops up much like the ones in the front were supposed to, but it did come off a bit easier. So now you can just go ahead and pull the intake out. We shouldn't have anything else holding it in here. Easier said than done, right? Make sure you get everything out of your way. And I think I am going to go ahead and take off the other tube just to make this easier and less cumbersome to deal with. That way I can have the tube out of the way, I guess. Like so. Now, we should be able to just pull this box out of here, I think. I don't believe there's anything else. Yeah, nothing else holding it. And that's it. You can see all that was holding it on the bottom were these little nubs. That's what we had to overcome to get it out. Down here in the bottom, you can see where these little nubs fit. One here and one over here, and that's really it. So we have it out, no issues with anything, that's good. So now we can go ahead and get to assembling the air raid cold air intake. First thing, you want to grab the coupling that came with the kit and one of the small clamps and go ahead and fit that over the throttle body like so, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten that clamp down. All right, we've got the coupling installed onto the throttle body. Next up is to go ahead and mount the MAF sensor. This is the dreaded washer, I guess, and it's going to go right here inside. Takes a few minutes to do unless you get lucky, I think, and that's because it's not quite wide enough for the material that is inside the opening. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and then we're going to seat the mass airflow sensor inside of it. We've got the sensor in. You guys can see here it was a bear. Just be careful when you put it in. Next up, we need to put this tube fitting in the intake. It's going to go right here. Takes a 3/4 inch wrench to tighten it down, and do not over tighten it. It is plastic going into metal thread, so you can break it easily. Make sure you don't cross thread it as well. One quick tip for you: when you remove the factory air box, it has these little nubs on the bottom. They will come off with the air box. You need these to plug the nubs that are going to be on the bottom of our new intake into, like so, to hold it down. So make sure you pull these off and then reinstall them back down here in the bracket where the intake is going to plug in. Next up, we're going to go ahead and install the air raid window. It goes in from underneath, from the inside, like so. And you want to make sure, well, that you don't drop it, but that you orient it, at least if you want it like I do, so you can read it from the front. So the big side or the filter side is going to be on your right, and then you'll read this as normal across like so. Okay, we've got the see-through panel on top, and then went ahead and installed the feet on the bottom. They just screw in from the inside with a bolt, a nut, and 2 washers. Next up is to go ahead and put the front door, I guess, onto the box itself, it's going to fit on like so with the provided hardware, and then we'll move on to the next step. Almost skipped a step. You need to put the filter on before you put the front of the box or the side of the box on, or you won't be able to get the filter in, right? Because it won't fit through anywhere else. So make sure you put the filter on, tighten down the clamp, and then go ahead and put the front part on. Next is the coupling. I'm going to go over the side of the air box with one of the big clamps, and then we're going to connect the tube, I guess, on the side of the air box to the other side as well. Do all of this loosely so that once you put the air box into the Jeep, you can kind of adjust everything as you need to. Next up, you want to grab this little rubber piece. It's going to replace this bolt right here, the one that's closer or further in the engine bay. So you have the outside and the inside. It's going to replace this inside bolt. This is the little nub installed and a screw, and it's a bit cumbersome to reach in there. It is a 10 millimeter. It can be done. Just be patient. I actually dropped the screw down in the box, I don't know, 3-4 times, but I got it in. So that probably is the hardest part, other than the grommet for the MAF sensor. So now all we have to do is put the clamp on the box itself onto the tube, tighten everything down, reconnect the intake hose here and the MAF sensor, and finally the negative terminal on the battery, and then we'll be able to go for a ride, see how it sounds. All right, we got everything hooked back up. Here's the MAF sensor. Here's the intake hose. Here's the intake itself. Everything came out really well, and it looks pretty cool. I dig this one under the hood as well. But now, what we really need to test is the sound. Did I get the sound and maybe the performance that I want out of this intake? Let's go for a ride. Moment of truth, as always, we want to make sure there's no check engine lights. Let's go ahead and start it up. And let's take a look at the front here, or the gauge cluster. And I'm not seeing any check engine lights. That's a good thing. So we are ready to take that ride. Let's go see what it sounds like. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a sound from the takeoff. Not sure yet, actually. Let's get on another straightaway here, and then we'll do a 55-mile-an-hour run and see what it sounds like. From an acceleration standpoint, feels like it could be a little bit quicker to me, but that's probably in my head, to be quite honest. I don't know that you can really feel 12 horsepower, but nonetheless, let's slow up, and then I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas here. You can hear a little bit there. I don't think it's as profound as some that I've had in the past in the Jeep Gladiators and on the two-door 2018 Wrangler that we had. But I do hear a little bit more, I guess, throaty sound from under the hood than what I heard with the OEM intake. So now we're going to jump from a stop out onto 55-mile-an-hour road. Let's see what it sounds like. Here we go. Okay, I do hear more sound from under the hood. Just to let you know, with this intake, it's not like you're going to get a drone or anything like that. I know a lot of people worry about drones, and I don't like a lot of droning either. So I'm not getting that out of this intake. It actually sounds pretty good. From an acceleration standpoint, again, I don't know if I notice anything really, if I'm being honest. And it's not like this Jeep is underpowered anyway, so kind of hard to judge. No check engine light still. We've been driving for a few minutes. That's good. We certainly don't want check engine lights. And when the Jeep kicks down like it did just there, you might have been able to hear it in the background. You do get a little bit of throaty exhaust from under the hood as well. So in the end, what's my, I guess, early take on it? Well, number one, I'm happy I have no check engine lights. Number two, don't really notice a big improvement in acceleration in this Jeep. And number three, I do get a little bit of sound under the hood. Not quite as pronounced as what I had in previous Jeeps, but still, I can hear a difference. You might be able to hear it. I'll be quiet. Hear that little growl in the background? That's what I like. Anyway, that's the install. That's my first impression of it. I'll give you guys an update down the road after, you know, it's on the Jeep for a while. We live with it for a little bit. I'll be really interested to see what my wife thinks, if she notices a difference. Real quick, smash that subscribe button if you haven't before, and we'll see you next time on the web. Bye.